your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It was another cloudy day with rain showers, and we still do have some showers across the central Illinois area right now. The good news is, as we go into the evening hours, not only will we dry out, we're actually going to clear out pretty quickly overnight tonight. But we still have them out there. 43 degrees right now in Champaign, 46 in Mattoon, 47 in Effingham, and 43 in Danville, which is where we have our Flooring America weather camera up on a roofing dog island, showing the cloudy skies as well as the wet pavement out there from the rain showers. Winds are still out of the northerly direction, the northeast to be exact, up to around 15 miles per hour. But the good news is for tomorrow, they'll switch out of the south, and as a result, we'll have mild temperatures for us in the 60s. Overnight tonight, though, we will clear out, dropping our temperatures down into the middle 30s for lows. But again, it'll be a nice sunny day for tomorrow. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Governor Pritzker's order to stay at home could last even longer than he first thought. What he wants to see before giving the order that the coast is clear.
We serve a very vulnerable population.
It's a population that's really feeling the impact of COVID-19, who's stepping up to provide support. He's been accused of counting votes early. How the State Board of Elections responded to the Champaign County clerk.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
The question that everyone wants answered right now is, how long is all of this going to last? The honest answer is we don't yet know. Good evening. I'm Jessica Coons. Paul is on assignment. Governor Pritzker said today he may have to extend the state's stay-at-home order unless we start to see the growth in coronavirus cases start to slow down. WCIA 3's Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live in Springfield. Mark, today we have the governor saying he might extend the stay-at-home order. We have the president saying he wants to see the country opened up by Easter, which is just a couple of weeks away. That's a big difference.
Yeah, Jessica, the political fight right now is our leaders. We're seeing it in real time. They're trying to strike that proper balance between public health and between the economy. Of course, the economy impacts all of us in unique ways, but it's something we can see. The president himself called this coronavirus a, quote, invisible scourge in his recent remarks, meaning it's sometimes harder to see into the future and understand ways that this public health crisis might impact people in very different ways, especially we've seen some public officials from Texas recently go on national television and question that same balance today. Governor Pritzker pushing back on those remarks today. He said he's following the science here. He's siding with the experts who have predicted some rather bleak scenarios if we don't stay the course and stay at home.
Again, I'm trying to follow the science here, and I am concerned that we may have to extend that deadline. But I think the president is not taking into account the true damage that this will do to our country if we see truly millions of people die. And that's what I think would happen. That's what the scientists and the doctors tell us would happen.
Announced that we're moving tax day from April 15th.
The governor also mentioned there was some consideration or public debate in recent days about who's worth sacrificing, if the elderly are worth sacrificing. He said he's not willing to sacrifice anyone and that no one's life is worth more than anyone else's. He doesn't want to see anyone's life lost here. So when will we get back to normal? Governor Pritzker said today he wants to see the curve of increasing cases start to flatten out. That curve so far in Illinois is continuing to rise even as we try to get more tests available to see who has the coronavirus, who showed symptoms for it. Today, Senate Republican Minority Leader Bill Brady also said he's asking the governor's office to consider already reopening some state parks as people try to get outdoors and stay active. We've seen those parks closed down. He wants to see that happen. Also, Senator Brady saying, look, at some point in the near future, businesses are going to have to start opening their doors again. Is anyone planning for the safety protocols under which those employees would return to work? He's urging the governor's office to consider what those protocols would look like, because at some point, businesses are going to start to go back to work here. Jessica?
Still a lot to look at. All right, Mark Maxwell live in Springfield tonight. Mark, thank you. One of the new coronavirus cases in Illinois is in Champaign County. Public health officials say a woman in her 80s was diagnosed. There are now 4 cases in Champaign County. The total number of cases in the state is over 1,500 in 32 counties. 16 people have died. The Howard Buffett Foundation in Macon County is providing more support for those impacted by COVID-19. The foundation will give $290,000 to service agencies. That's in addition to the $1 million commitment announced last week. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays has more.
We are very grateful to Howard Buffett for seeing the need for this funding.
And organizations like the Good Samaritan Inn in Decatur say it's coming at a time when they really need support.
We serve a very vulnerable population and a population that's really feeling this impact of the COVID-19. Our social services really are suffering right now, and we're going to see a pretty significant issue in that area, in the coming days and weeks and months if this continues.
The Howard G. Buffett Foundation is trying to help. They have committed to giving $290,000 for service agencies that have had to make a lot of adjustments.
We've had to completely change the way that we do business. So instead of allowing our patrons to come in for that meal, we now have to package to-go items. To-go supplies were never in our budget.
The foundation has committed to $30,000 to Meals on Wheels, $50,000 to Baby Talk, $110,000 to the United Way, and up to $100,000 in food vouchers for first responders.
It enables us to not have to run to the grocery store.
Firefighters say the donations will also help put money back into restaurants and businesses.
We'll always find something to eat. We're more worried about the helping out the small local restaurants and businesses.
And that willingness to give back is how organizations say they're continuing to feed into others.
The spirit of the community really shines through in times like these.
In Decatur, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
The food voucher support and the additional money for Meals on Wheels will cover meals starting today through April 22nd. Blood centers need people to donate right now, but you'll have to make an appointment first. It's a new policy for blood donations at Community Blood Services. The policy will help staff manage donor flow and maintain appropriate social distancing. If you want to donate, that number is on the bottom of your screen right now. We've talked a lot about the need for face masks. A lot of people are wearing them to stay safe. Now some Urbana volunteers are joining in to prevent a shortage. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting has more on why they wanted to get on board.
There's 2 pieces of material. They're sewn together.
They say idle hands are the devil's workshop, but that won't be a problem for Deb Bright. She's a volunteer with Hospice Hearts. In one night, Bright worked with other Hospice Hearts volunteers to make 30 of these.
We are all working from home. We have volunteers that drop the supplies at the door, and then the other volunteers may be cutting material, maybe cutting elastic, or going and getting fabric donations.
Hospice Hearts fosters pets when their owners can't do it themselves for health reasons. They have a group that makes crafts regularly to raise money. They made these masks their new project. So far, they haven't had to pay for any of the materials.
These are all donations, whatever people already have in stock. I don't think we've purchased anything yet.
Volunteers say even though they don't need masks themselves, they knew they wanted to help those who do.
We work hand in hand with doctors, nurses, hospitals, and veterinarians, because they have the contact of the families that are having the problems with their pets. So it comes full circle. So why shouldn't we help with the mask while we have the skills?
Although these masks aren't directly tied to COVID prevention, they do help with the spread of germs, and they're also a great way for the community to work on a project together.
As healthcare workers, we so appreciate the support from the community. We have enough supplies right now, but we don't know, if that could change.
That was Courtney Bunting reporting. Hospice Hearts volunteers say any masks that aren't needed at area hospitals will be donated somewhere else. They just want to make sure no one goes without. There are a lot of hospitals, though, looking for mask donations right now. For a list of some of those, you can head to WCIA.com. We have a follow-up to a Central Illinois couple who got stuck on a cruise ship. Barb and Jordan May say they're on their way home. The Bloomington couple was on the Grand Princess cruise ship, and they've been quarantined at an Air Force base in Georgia for almost 2 weeks. Barb says their tests came back negative, and their quarantine was lifted. May says their checkout area was decorated with balloons and everyone wished them well. They're now on their way home in a rental car. Several streets were blocked off in Urbana this afternoon. It happened just after 4 o'clock in the wooded area to the west of Meadowbrook Park. U of I police say they were called for a report of a person firing a gun. When they got there, they found a man shooting a pellet gun at cans. Race Street was shut down for about 15 minutes. 38-year-old Dominic Major was arrested for trespassing on state-supported property and unlawful use of a weapon on state-supported property. No one was hurt. We are your local election headquarters. The State Board of Elections issued a stern warning to Champaign County Clerk Aaron Ammons for breaking the law in last Tuesday's primary election. A timestamp published by his office showed evidence that he had counted some early votes the day before the election. And the state board says that's illegal. A letter from the election authority's lawyer says you cannot count any ballots until after the polls close. It says that law is in place to prevent election manipulation. The letter said that is only, quote, one in a series of voting irregularities in Champaign County under Ammons' watch, and warned, quote, these incidents have increased scrutiny of your office. The Olympic Games have officially been postponed. How that affects two Illini athletes who are ready to go for the gold. Also tonight, we're in a time when almost all gatherings are being done over the internet, and the next Illini marching band may be chosen that way.
You also just want to stay inside, too, because the weather's been pretty lousy the past couple days, and today was one of those days. Cloudy with rain showers, keeping our high down to 44 degrees. Now, coming up, we are calling for a really nice day for tomorrow, but there will be multiple chances for showers and storms this week, and our temperatures will stay warm, though. We'll have all the details on that coming up after this.